Well, hi again, everybody, and welcome to what we'll call a bonus edition of Inside Furman Athletics for this week. I am Dan Scott. It is our monthly Ask the AD session with Athletic Director Jason Donnelly, who always brings a special guest in, and he brought in a guest today, the guy who I think has the longest title in the athletic department. Drew Ingraham.
You know, Rob Carson might have him beat. Rob's got a lot on his plate. But, no, we're really excited to have Drew here, and we're going to talk with Drew in just a second. Before we get started, I just want to thank everyone for participating in this. I want to thank Dan. This is Dan doing double duty today. He just did a podcast with Jeff Hall and talking about our Lady Paladin Invitational. It's coming up in just a couple days here.
I don't like to correct the boss, but it's actually triple duty because we also did a basketball podcast.
Did you?
True. Yes.
Good. I love it. Even better.
So if I don't have a voice on Saturday for the game, you'll know why.
Well, we need you for Saturday, Dan. We do, and part of what I wanted to do is just acknowledge Dan. Our staff's been talking, and we came off a great weekend. We had a lot of great things taking place here at Furman, on campus, off campus, to all of our teams. We can talk more about it later. But one of the things that we've acknowledged is we really appreciate the great content that Dan Scott and our external team is providing, both digitally and in social media and the video interviews. And the fact that you had 3 in today, I love it. But it's hopefully great content for all of our fans. But thank you, Dan, for everything that you've been doing. We love hearing from it. But we did want to spend some time talking to Drew, and I wanted to explain to our fans a little bit different today than normal. Normally we have some obviously great guest coaches that come through. Just had a great interview with Clay Hendricks about a month ago in terms of the things that we've done. But Dan's been doing such a great job getting to our coaches and getting content to you that I wanted to take a chance to talk about some of the other people in our department that make the things happen behind the scenes. And we get great feedback when we talk about our social media, our marketing effort, our communications effort, our ticketing effort, our corporate effort, all the different things that are taking place. And Drew Ingraham, being a relatively new member of our staff, going back about 6 months now, maybe a little bit longer, has made a major impact on our staff in just a short amount of time. So Drew is the Senior Associate Athletic Director for External Affairs. Is there anything else that I'm missing?
Nope, that's it.
Good.
That's it.
Good.
And by the way, he's talking about all this great content. No pressure.
No, none at all. We don't. It's opportunity. It's all about opportunity, Dan.
But I just wanted to formally welcome Drew. Drew's been doing a great job. Joined us, I think, sometime around March, because I remember you getting here at the end of our Weekends at the Well series, which may have been in February, and then I think it formally, officially here in March. Did a fantastic job with all of our activities that we had during March. Ben has inherited a lot of responsibility across the board in our department. This was a position that prior to me arriving, I thought was a priority. Upon arrival, I thought was a priority for Furman that we had to be patient with relative to our budget and our investment and in terms of the things that we're doing. But this was a position that was approved by the president and the board for us to move forward and invest further in Furman Athletics, and really with a focus on being collaborative with our campus and our off-campus partners, but pulling all the different areas together. So I wanted to introduce Drew and just say, Drew, what are some of the things that you're overseeing for the fans know and understand all the different things you're doing behind the scenes that they may not see, but they may experience as part of the Furman experience?
Absolutely. And I would like to thank you for giving me an opportunity to come on and speak with you both. And obviously, Dan and I work together on a continuous basis, and appreciative of all the stuff that Dan does for our student athletes and our coaches and our programs. So the area that I have the opportunity to oversee right now are our marketing efforts, our communications department, social media, ticketing, and I might be missing corporate
yeah.
and graphic design.
Yeah.
So those are the
That's
areas.
So
and other duties as assigned.
Other duties as assigned.
Other
yes.
duties
and
as assigned.
every time I talk to somebody now and that phrase comes up, I always credit you. And I'll say, as Drew Ingraham says, other duties as assigned.
Well, that's the most important bullet on the job description.
But just talk to Drew about how, when you're combining all these things, tell them about your vision, things that you're trying to accomplish as you're taking all these external units. What are you trying to accomplish for Furman Athletics?
Absolutely. So we operate off of a 3-pronged process, right? Our 3-pronged process are the effective communication and promotion of all of our programs, student athletes, and coaches. We want to tell our story. We want to promote our programs. We want to tell people what's going on with Furman Athletics. The second component is revenue generation. We need to make money. We want to drive our revenues up, whether it's through ticket sales, corporate partnerships, special events, community engagements, and whatnot. And then the other most important part is community and campus engagement. What are we doing with our partners? What are we doing with the campus as a whole? What are we doing to let people know that Furman Athletics is open for business and you can come be a part of it, as well as providing another facet of opportunity for our students who come on campus and just give a sense of pride to Furman University from an athletic standpoint. So we use those three pillars to really guide us in our decision making and how we go about strategizing our day-to-day.
I love it. And Drew, for the audience that might not know you as well, talk a little bit about your background, your experiences. I know during the interview process for us, it was clear and apparent that you had all the skill sets and all the experience that required to lead in this position. But tell us about how you got here and the type of experiences you had to lead to this moment.
Well, I think as we've talked about numerous times, a Northeast guy originally from Long Island, by way of Massachusetts for undergrad and graduate school. I started my career at Colorado College, which is a predominantly hockey school. It's Division I in hockey and women's soccer, and the rest is Division III. And then I really cut my teeth in administration at Montana State University. I came the year after Furman went up and played Montana State in the first round of the FCS playoffs, so I missed that opportunity. I spent 7 years there, and then I got the opportunity to go down to the University of New Mexico. Spent 4 years there in an external facing capacity. That's where I learned, started overseeing things like communications and broadcast and creative services. And then most recently came from Texas Tech University, where I spent 4 years there working for Kirby Hocutt and his programs, and just had an opportunity to be at a Power 5 institution. Was fortunate enough to have a front row seat to the success they had in basketball. Which was a really great experience and something that is helping serve me well here in my role and responsibilities here at Furman.
I've got to say, and I would not say this if I didn't really feel it, it seems like it's been, from at least my standpoint, working with you, a seamless integration as you've come in, and I know it's not been as easy for you as it looked. Are you still drinking from the proverbial fire hose, or have things slowed down a little bit for you? Because is it like the duck, calm on the outside and churning underneath the water?
That's the exact example I use. I think for something that what we want to do here, and the level of excitement that Jason and I bonded over during the interview process, and then on my onboarding, and then just working with our coaches and our student athletes in our department. If you don't get more excited and your mind doesn't start working more and more and more as you have continuous engagement and ideas start flowing, then something's wrong. And the duck on the water is the best way to describe it. And I want to circle back to your statement about seamless transition. That is 100% a testament to the staff that is in place that helped me during that transition. The leadership of Jason, Dan, you in your role, Hunter Reed in communications, who has a wealth of Furman knowledge. He'll forget more than I'll ever know. Carly Rose in our social media department. So it's just been an absolute joy to be around this program and around this staff, and they've helped me during this transition.
And I think that's really well said, because so much of what we talked to Drew about as we were going through this interview process and engagement process for the role that we needed is that the people and the building blocks were there. We needed someone that could pull it all together, that could provide that continuity, that leadership, and all the different things that would be there, with also a plan to grow. And I think all the different principles that you talked about are the most important ones, is that Furman Athletics is having success and doing really well with great people that are part of the teams are successful, the effort's successful, all the different things are in place. But so much of our challenge is our growth in terms of where we're going. And those are some of the things I wanted you to be able to share. Just some thoughts and some points of emphasis that you have as you look at areas to grow and things that you want to accomplish during your tenure here.
I think really one of the things that we want to continue to do is tell our story. We have unbelievable coaches. We have unbelievable student athletes that are so exceptional on and off the playing surface. So it's continuing to grow that. Obviously, we want to grow our fan base. So growth in fan base means a growth in ticket sales, a growth in apparel sales, and help enhance that revenue generation. And that's twofold. I mean, that's more than just getting people excited about watching our games. That's creating an atmosphere on campus, in venue, that people want to spend their time with us, with our student athletes, with our coaches, supporting Furman University. So I think those are some areas, and then also we've identified opportunities to grow within the city of Greenville. We are Greenville's university. How can we continue to grow that footprint? And we're doing some exciting things like Weekend at the Well. We had the opportunity to host the NCAA tournament first and second round. We'll be doing it for the women this March coming up. And those are the things, that these really great opportunities that we have to continue to grow our brand and just tell our story.
Yeah, and for the fans, one of the questions that I'm looking for them, Dan gives me usually a quick look before we come in, but I did see one of the questions that was in there was a question about what's the really response and the growth in terms of the social media presence. And guys, it's Drew Ingraham, it's Carly, it's Nina, it's everyone in the marketing department that's a part of this. It's our communication staff. I think what you're beginning to see is this collaborative effort of all the different things that are coming together. And it's not just them. It's also how you structure and put your coaches together, your student athletes together, and there's always room for growth and excitement there. One question I have for you, Drew, also is, as your experience in Furman now and you're going into your first fall semester, have you had a favorite moment or something as you think about since you've been here that really captured your energy or your excitement? And I know there's a lot of great moments to date, but anything that you've really enjoyed so far?
Wow, that's a loaded question. It's a really good one. I would say, honestly, having that first football game under the belt. We talked about, as we went in and we planned and we were trying to engage the community at large and make it an event, make the football game bigger than the game itself. It was about getting those reps in, and it was about finding out and getting information about our efforts. Are the social media posts and the marketing strategies that we put in place working? Are we seeing a return on investment? And football under the lights is just a great opportunity, and we had a great support, I think, from our student body, which was something we really focused going in on, and then also a great opportunity for the community. We had a blast up at the SoCon. We had a great time with the NCAA tournament. I wish I could really pinpoint one thing, but it's just been such a great opportunity across the board. I think the best is still yet to come.
My favorite Drew Ingraham moment so far was Fan Day here for football, when the fans got to go down on the field, and he's standing there at the stairway to the turf handing out posters. And I told him he was the poster boy for handing out posters, and that's where he dropped the other duties as assigned line. So I think that's been my favorite moment for you so far. So you're willing to do whatever it takes to get it done.
Well, I appreciate it, and I know Jason operates under the same leadership guideline. You never ask anybody to do anything that you're not willing to do yourself. Yeah. And you lead by example. Words only mean something when you back them up with action. And not to say that I have anybody on my staff who's unwilling to hand out posters, but when there's a job to be done, it's all hands on deck.
Yeah, and this effort that Drew talks about, too, it's a collaborative effort. And the thing I love working with Drew is phenomenal work ethic, phenomenal character, great ability to take ideas into execution. But he is always one to pass the credit. And I think that says a lot about Drew's values and the values that we espouse with our leadership team. We've got this great group. We get together every week on Tuesday mornings. This group gets together and goes through the leadership components of what we need to do to lead our department. And then from there, we've got great people that support that effort in terms of everything we do from top to bottom, and great coaches and assistant coaches and student athletes. So I just feel great about where everything is headed. I echo your thoughts about that football game. It was your first one going through it. And we didn't really know on a Thursday night, how it would come together, normally playing on a Saturday. And to see that energy around the stadium, particularly around the students. I'm not saying we had every student on this campus there, but it was close. The students that were here really came out and supported this in our fan effort. But it was a fun fun Thursday to get the season started. So, Drew, another loaded question for you. As you're looking ahead, what are some things coming up that you're really excited about from a marketing and ticketing and engagement perspective that you want to share with our fans?
Well, I think really the big thing, and we know it's coming around the corner, is basketball season. We're really excited about the direction of our basketball programs and the response we've seen from our fan base coming off of last year's success of both programs, coming within one game away of playing in the NCAA tournament, which is a huge accomplishment, returning a lot of talent to those rosters, and two coaches with Coach Carson and Coach Ritchie who just bleed purple through and through. Mm-hmm. And I'm really excited about growing our fan base. We've seen that our season ticket numbers are pacing ahead of where they were this time last year. I'm really excited about enhancing our game day atmosphere. We've got some plans in place that will offer some new experiences for not only our general fans, but our student population as well. And we're also looking to offer some opportunities for fans to get in and be season ticket holders at a price point that they otherwise wouldn't have had the opportunity to.
Yeah.
We saw a lot of success from our family plan, sponsored by Healthy Blue SC, that we were able to do with football, that actually translated into over 100 new season tickets. And we're planning to launch a similar plan for our basketball programs this year. And I'm really excited about growing with this program. And these programs are at an elite level, and we want to get behind them and support them every way we possibly can.
Did you just do a commercial?
How did I do?
That's what it was.
Your family ticket plan brought to you by Healthy Blue SC?
I think I did mention
Are
earlier
you trying
that part
to
of it is
trying to
is
take
part
my
of
job
growth.
too now?
Well, it's part of growth, right? One of my responsibilities is growing our corporate relationships. So.
And it is strategic.
But he did it seamless,
so
seamless.
And this is strategic also because a lot of times, and Dan, you do this. You say, well, what can anyone do to help you guys? We need to grow our fan base, and what we mean by that is just the simplest thing is bring a friend, bring a family, bring people with you, bring your church, bring your youth group, bring whoever you want to be a part of Furman Athletics, and we will accommodate and find ways to do it. And sometimes it's a point of sale. Sometimes this is an opportunity to just gather, to bring large masses of people together. We are not content as a department unless it's a sellout, and that speaks for football, basketball, whatever it is. Volleyball last week was wild. It was great energy, the best energy I felt in Alley Gym since before the pandemic, just in terms of feeling like we are back and getting to that point. But I know that Drew, working very closely with Coach Ritchie, working closely with Jackie Carson, is working really hard on that fan base. And the goal for Furman basketball this year is to provide a sold-out atmosphere, the type of atmosphere that's going to support our team and really drive that energy. One of the things that we're both really proud of, working really close with Coach Ritchie and his staff, is they've put the schedule together that they want. This has been all about going for it. This has been all about putting together the opportunities, home games and away games, and multiple team tournament in Charleston, all the different things. We just left the meeting. We spent the last 30 minutes right before this talking about the experience in Charleston in terms of what that's going to be for our fan base. And Dan, we're going to keep you busy because you and I are in the same calendar where we're talking about the week of November 14th. We need our fan base ready. We got a women's basketball game on a Wednesday. We have a men's basketball Thursday, Friday in Charleston. We come back here for football on Saturday against Wofford for Senior Day. We go back for the championship game in Charleston on a Sunday. And we got Frank Selvey getting into the Hall of Fame. We got all this stuff going on. Plus, we're hosting the SoCon Volleyball Championships the same week. So we got a lot going on, and we're excited about it. But Drew, we sincerely appreciate you being a part of the team and everything you're doing. It's been, like I'd say with Dan, it's been seamless and such a great addition. I think Drew, a future AD, has got a bright future in his business and has done some great things being here already, just a short amount of time.
Before we send him off riding into the sunset with all those laurels, 2 episodes ago on the All Dim podcast, Bob Ritchie was really, really singing your praises because of the Charleston experience that's coming up. So I think it might be a good idea to tell people exactly what is available for fans if you have that memorized.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are offering a comprehensive fan experience to go up to the MTE to support our men's basketball program. Hotel accommodations at the Charleston Marriott where the team will be staying. We'll also provide bus transportation to and from the hotel to the games for our teams. You'll receive an all-tournament ticket package, which will allow you to attend any game during the course of the event. We'll host a happy hour on Saturday night from 3 to 5 at the rooftop bar at the Charleston Marriott as well. You'll be privy to all send-offs, meet and greets, really get to experience what it's like to be with our basketball team and our coaches. And to Jason's point, what we're doing is we're just trying to bring Furman fans together. We want to show the country. This is a national tournament. That's one of the things we were talking about. This is on ESPN. This is what we call a big boy tournament. And this is what we deserve to play in. This is an experience that our fans deserve to have. And we're just fully committed to being there and supporting our program.
Yeah, this is the deal. And I don't know if the fan base might not understand how fortunate we are for this opportunity. It's a great credit to Bob Ritchie and the basketball program positioning themselves for this. But a multiple team tournament on national TV is your best opportunity to make noise in the national rankings. It's also your best opportunity as a fan. These are the things that the next level where we're working towards is we've talked about these in our conference meetings. We want the best team in the SoCon being in a multiple team tournament every year, whoever that is. We want that to be Furman, but we want the SoCon representation. So us playing well in this, there's a lot of stakes on that in terms of the opportunities both for Furman and the conference. It's going to be a lot of information in regards to seeding later in the year when we talk about NCAA tournament seeding. It's also opportunities for at-large. These are where you get your at-large wins on a neutral court against teams that ordinarily are not going to play you. You know, these teams are not going to play you, but they're going to have to play you on a neutral court environment, which is a great opportunity for us. And then as a fan base, the opportunity to come together in Charleston and to spend time together supporting the team, getting behind in this way. And it doesn't mean you got to miss the Wofford football game because many of us, myself, Dan, maybe Drew, because you got different responsibilities, are going to be making that trek back and forth, and we'll have opportunities to support the football program from Charleston as well that we're going to put together. But this is where we really need you. I mean, the energy, the enthusiasm, the fan base, the love, all of those things, if you can think about prioritizing some time before Thanksgiving and taking a couple of days off of work or taking a couple of days off of family responsibilities and joining us there, it'll be a lot of fun. It's going to feel in a lot of ways like the SoCon tournament in Asheville if you stayed. And we're creating that environment. Drew did a great job this past March of helping to build that environment. We had a great weekend in March together. For fans that stayed with us or that joined us, you kept feeling the energy grow. You know, from the first game to the second game to the last game was amazing how many people came and joined the men's championship game. Was really a special thing. But this is what an NCAA tournament environment is supposed to feel like, is this event in Charleston. And that's what we're working towards, is creating that type of environment. And Drew's done a great job of taking the lead on this and putting all the pieces in place. So we're excited. And we're going to share more information soon.
Absolutely, absolutely. And ticket packages are based on occupancy. We have everything from a price point of a single individual. If you want to travel up to a family of 4, we can make those accommodations as well. So to Jason's point, this is something we're just unbelievably lucky, fortunate, and excited to do to support our program, but also just bring Furman fans together.
If they want to go, you'll get them there, right?
No question. I'll drive them myself if I have to.
Let's do it.
All right. So are we turning him loose now?
We're good.
Do you have work to do?
Back to work.
Yes.
As my boss said, back to work.
Other duties.
Thank you, Drew.
As assigned.
Thank you for the opportunity.
All right, Drew. Thank you. That is Drew Ingraham. While he transitions out, I'll take a quick look at what else is going on and off campus for the schedule this week. We have, as we are recording this on Tuesday, men's soccer is at Winthrop. We have volleyball at the Citadel on Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Friday is the women's golf outing. That's the beginning of the Lady Paladin Invitational, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the Furman Golf Course. Also on Friday, men's tennis is on the road at Elon. And again on Friday, women's volleyball is at Chattanooga. And then, of course, Saturday, football is at Charleston Southern. And then we return home for the first time in a month to take on Samford at Paladin Stadium the following week. All right. Got back in with no trouble. How about
great,
that?
Yeah, it's a great segue, and I hope everyone had a chance to enjoy spending some time with Drew. And so much of why we're doing that is that we have a chance to spend a lot of time with our coaches or student athletes, and there's a great leadership team here at Furman that we're really excited about as we make these transitions and everything that's going on. And appreciate your great words about Drew, because they're all on point. And as we keep evolving, Dan, part of why I invited Drew to join us was you've got so much content going on right now with our coaches. There's just so much great things to catch up on. What I wanted to share with the fan base before we get to questions, and we'll really spend a lot of the time on that, just a great start to the year on this campus. For those of you that may be from a distance, you might not be able to feel the energy that this new academic year has brought. It's been from day one of orientation with our teams coming back for fall sports. I mean, the energy around this place has been awesome. The campus has been vibrant. The students have had a lot of fun. They're engaged in a lot of different athletic events. They're engaged in a lot of student events. We couldn't be prouder of the start that we've had. This past weekend was phenomenal. I wrote it down. I think we had like 10 events in 4 days. Everything from away football games to home volleyball games and soccer games and cross-country meet. Both our men and women dominated that event, which is, for them, that's kind of par for the course. But they had their stakeholders dinner where they brought all their parents and all their donors together. And then Drew did a great job. He was responsible for overseeing the Debbie Southern tournament with our brand new women's tennis coach, Michelle Dasso, who's done a great job getting started out with our women's tennis program. And for those of you that don't know the Debbie Southern tournament, it may be the top preseason women's tennis tournament in the nation. We've got all the best teams in the South that are here, and Duke and Wake Forest and and everyone that's been a part of that, North Carolina, and Michelle fits in great in terms of the role that she's going to have with our program there. So we're really blessed. We got a lot of great stuff going on.
I got to share something from our external meeting yesterday. Drew was talking about that tournament and the unusual circumstance of having an administrator who'd never been through one and a brand new head coach who'd never been through one, and they're basically walking around saying, what's supposed to happen here? I don't know how we do it last year. Well, we weren't here last year. How do we know? It got done, and it ran seamlessly. Again, there's that word. But don't you think that when you've got a situation like that where you've got a new coach, a new administrator who are seeing things with fresh eyes, that can only lead to good things? I mean, everything can be improved.
Yeah.
You with what we've done with the game day atmosphere here, football-wise.
Yeah,
so not to say that it wasn't good, but you just get the idea that two new sets of eyes on things is only going to get better.
Yeah, and that's the whole point of this whole thing, is that you're bringing in fresh blood to take an already great product to the next level, and to take something that's really, really strong and to see where this is going to go. And, the Debbie Southern for us, I mean, it's historically been a great tournament, but what is the level of investment in terms of energy and the return around it, and where do we take that to at the next level? And Drew and Michelle did an excellent job, and people that have been there before have given the same feedback in terms of what that experience was, not just for the participants, but also for the guests that were around it. Really cool to have Debbie Southern come back. That meant a lot to our staff, the fact that Debbie, the namesake of the tournament, the former head coach here, a legend in everything that she's done, created that tournament 35 years ago. And for her to be back and support that said a lot about her, says a lot about Michelle Dasso's leadership coming in as a new head coach with that connection. But just so much great stuff going on. We are looking forward to this weekend. Obviously, football on the road, but the Lady Paladin tournament's a great opportunity if you're looking to come out and support another championship level caliber team. So that's a great opportunity for everybody here. But things are going really, really well, Dan. And from that segue, I wanted to just get into questions, and I usually print them out and try to be ahead of it, but I left the printout on my desk, so I'm going to have to go off of you, whatever you want to cover.
That's fine. We've got so many of them this time. I don't know that we'll be able to get through all of them, but some of them are repeats.
I saw one I wanted to hit first, if it's okay.
Okay.
So the one up top on the list, the first round playoff in Paladin Stadium, and yes, we're all in on this. Really excited about the work that Clay Hendricks is doing with his program. Clay in some ways is just a rejuvenation of energy. I mean, not that anything was ever different for him, but this staff and these athletes have really, I think, taken Clay to the next level in terms of what his excitement is for this particular season. You can see it on both sides of the ball, offensively, defensively. You can see it in special teams. You just see it in attention to detail that the staff's doing with great response from the student athletes that are part of it at all different positions. So that the opportunities we've had to date, the home opener was awesome. So proud of the performance of our team at Clemson outside of winning the game. Thought they did everything that they could have within their control to position ourselves in a really, really good spot. And this past week, that win on the road at ETSU was huge. And just philosophically, I want our fan base to know that we support these teams and what they do to the fullest extent of our power to enable them to have the type of season that they want to have. And in this case, we're working towards a Southern Conference championship, and we're working towards a national championship. And we will position ourselves to try, to the best of our ability, to get that bid. We're planning for it for post-Thanksgiving to get that game. Now, better would be Clay can control everyone's Thanksgiving weekend and just win out and just be a top 8 seed. That's what we really want, to position everyone for that bye opportunity to bypass that weekend. But given the opportunity, our staff will bid and be prepared to do that. And that's something that our fan base should count on year in, year out. Now, logistically, I don't know the end process to getting these bids. We did have conversations about this last year with ADs and nationally in terms of how they're awarding bids and what they're doing. Some of this got a little bit complicated with COVID, but hopefully we're getting back to a normal stance on it. But we want it. We're going to bid. We're going to get aggressive in terms of what we need to do. But we're going to hopefully either not be playing that weekend because we got to buy, or we'll be playing in Paladin Stadium would be the goal. And that's something that's really important to us. Can't guarantee it, but we'll be aggressive, and we're prepared to do that. And that's something we want our fan base to know. As we plan out the season, we're already planning out all the way to the national championship game. We're looking at all those variables, and we're informing people around us of what those things are so they can be prepared. And Dan, I want to keep you busy over Thanksgiving weekend and have you doing it. But in a perfect world, this team continues to play well, continues to progress and improve, and continue to earn their keep, and maybe they can be a top 8 seed. I mean, that's what every football program in the country is working towards, is that opportunity. But just want to be clear with our fan base how important that is to us, administration, in addition to the coaching staff. And you should never expect anything less than that.
Timmons update, that's a holdover or one that seems to pop up every time. I mean, there's no new information there, right?
Yeah, no new information yet, but things are going really well, and just stay tuned on that. But I know that's a process when everyone's looking at what's important there, but that is our number one capital project. It's something we've been working on for a while. Some of the things we just can't share. Some of the things are just in progress and going along. But that is a long game project. That is a project that you got to go over time, and you got to continue to work with your donors. But it remains a priority, and I'd say nothing's changed since the last time. And appreciate the update. I can promise you this: if we ever do have an update, we will bring it forward and share that. But we also have to work through our administration and work through our board of trustees and all the different things that we do here. But yeah, we're continuing to work very hard behind the scenes on that, and I feel really good about what's been done to date and what we're planning to do next.
Next question was one that there was some unintentional confusion when the basketball schedule was announced because of an erroneous report. Number of games at the Well. The story said there was only 1. That's wrong. There are not 3 this year. There are 2 games at the Well this year.
2, and let me offer some color on that. And I know that Coach Ritchie would say the same. We love playing at the Well. We institutionally, Furman loves playing there. We love being down there in Greenville. All of those things check out for us. But we also are held to schedules and other things that dictate timing and opportunities down there. So for this year, we are playing 2 games, one of which for us is a home game, a doubleheader for both the men and the women. We will play Wofford. The conference worked with us on that to get us on a date where we have ownership of the building and will be the primary tenant. And it's a great opportunity for us. Really, for us, it comes back to dates and times. And we philosophically would love to play as many games as possible at the Well when we can, based on scheduling and logistics of getting down there. We were able to get our priority date and our priority opponent, and we're very excited about that as well. The second opportunity is something that we've been working on comprehensively behind the scenes, and Furman's had a big hand in this in terms of what this is. But being able to play a non-conference game at the Well in December, Saturday, December 17th, with also Clemson and South Carolina as the other home games as a part of this. Some people have said the old Point Set Classic, the old North-South, whatever it would be. This is a vision that we've had for a while in terms of where we're going and what we're trying to put together. Furman is unofficially, the home team that's running things, but there's some logistics in terms of us being the actual home team that we've got to work through to date in terms of where we're going. And there's some logistical things that we have. But we are going to have a great support. We're going to have a great level of involvement. We've had great ownership in this event. This will not be a season ticket holder event since it involves three games down there in one day. But we will prioritize ticketing opportunities for our fans. We would love to pack that place with Furman fans and have you experience our game that's split in the middle between South Carolina and Clemson and have a great day down there. But it's something that we're working on for not just this year but for the future. But this is part of a vision of where we're headed. And I'm very thankful for our partners that helped us put this together. There's a lot of people behind the scenes that have been working on this, including the Bon Scores Wellness Arena, down, Greenville's Visitor Bureau, the different people that have been a part of this. So we're excited. We're also going to be back in the Well this year for the NCAA tournament. The fact that Greenville is one of 2 locations for the NCAA women's regionals. It's just us in Seattle. And for women's basketball fans, this is a big, big deal. The fact that we're going to have the Sweet 16 and the Elite 8 in our building, and we're only 1 or 2 locations around the country that's doing this. It's a big deal for Greenville. So I think Greenville's continued growth as a basketball destination and our continued desire to host non-conference games there in addition to conference games is really where we're headed there. And the goal is to get to the point that our fans wake up one day like, wow, I can't believe that's the game that we're going to have a chance to experience in the Well. And whether we're the home game or we're a part of that process, that's what we've been working towards. And I appreciate both Bob and Jackie's support with this because they're on board. Jackie's got an event down there, Hoops and Heels, on Wednesday, October 5th. I mean, she's doing some great stuff down there. Bob's got some new stuff coming up that he's working on that's really exciting around basketball. So there are just a lot of really good things taking place with both programs in Greenville. It's definitely a priority.
You answered the next question about the Stephen F. Austin game not being part of the season ticket package. but season ticket holders will get some priority notice as far as those tickets are concerned, right?
Yeah, we're going to be pushing it. I mean, we're going to be pushing it to our season ticket holders. We're going to be pushing for opportunities. There's nothing that we would love more than having our ticket holders in prime locations rocking that place and being loud in support of Furman. And guys, I do think it sends a message. I think it's important for our fan base to know this. That we, competing with the other two big state schools, we want to be the largest presence there on Saturday, December 17th. And don't think for a second that people aren't watching. People in Greenville are watching, people nationally are watching, people at South Carolina and Clemson are watching, both of which we would love to play South Carolina or Clemson. Those are goals for us in our program in terms of where we are, is to get to that point that this state, this city supports that type of energy in terms of the things that we want to do, because we're ready to go and we want to be a part of this. And we want the brand of basketball in South Carolina to continue to grow in terms of the opportunities, not just for Furman, but just for the state of South Carolina and Greenville. But we will be pushing information to our fans. We will be giving you opportunities to be a part of this, and we encourage you to be a part of this on Saturday, December 17th at the Well. It's an important date for our program.
This next question probably would have been better suited for Drew when he was here, but it said our student athletes are our best asset, and he talks about how Clemson football, Duke basketball do YouTube vlogs, which is video blog, to highlight their players. Have we given any consideration to doing something like this? We do a lot of content with our players already on Twitter and on Facebook, and I think Carly Rose has done a really good job of doing some things. If you go back in the summer, especially when we were trying to keep our fan base engaged, and some of the funny little things that they did with our student athletes, so I think we're already doing some of that.
Yeah, we are, and I think the question's a fair question and a great one. We love the content. We actually had this conversation earlier this week before this question came in about where we're headed and what we're doing. And part of that is the reason I wanted to introduce you to Drew in this capacity. That's really the role of the person in that spot. That's got to look at their staff. They got to look at their ability to execute. They got to look at all the different things they do. That's why what you do, Dan, is so important for us, because people say, well, I want to know more about these things. Well, the opportunity is there. It's visible. It's out there. We want to continue to grow it. But these ideas about vlogs and what these things are, I think you'll see more of this coming down the pike. It's something that individual programs are working on an individual basis. Like I even saw some of the feedback on some of the coaches' shows. Like anything we can do to be creative. This was actually a point I wanted to make while Drew was here. For our fan base, when you have ideas or things that are important to you that you want to see us do either more of, better, whatever it would be, the appropriate person to send those things to is Drew. We learn as much from our fans as we do from the things that we do here. There are so many great ideas that you have that get brought back to our attention that we're able to think about, execute, or we're already having the works. So in many different cases, it might shape a direction of the things that we do in terms of where we go. There'd be nothing that would make me happier than content that we can provide our fans with Dan Scott moderating and talking about and bringing all those great things back to you. But if there's ideas that you have and things that you want to cover, send those things to Drew, send those things to Dan, and let's get it in the pipeline and let's get working on it in terms of the things that we do.
Next question, any update on football scheduling?
Yeah, I thought we talked about this a little bit the last time, but we're scheduled through 25. Really excited about that. We're scheduled to play Tennessee in 26, which is awesome. And there's some build out in terms of the schedule from there. But I'm really excited for our staff in terms of what they're doing and the fact we got some good continuity there. I thought I saw another question asking a question in the 12-game seasons that we have.
24 and 25.
What are our plans? And I want the fan base to know I am as a former coach who did scheduling. That was something I was responsible for when I was coaching. I am very pro-coach when it comes to scheduling. And what I mean by that is that I want our coaches to be empowered to do the things they think are important for their programs as they schedule. Because at the end of the day, guys, these coaches, their jobs are on the line in terms of their competitiveness, in terms of the things that they do, the way that they produce, and also the way that they schedule. So a lot of the feedback in terms of scheduling is going to go right through our coaches in terms of the things that they want to get accomplished. When I got here, I remember early on talking to Clay about these 12-game segments, because I think my first year we played at Virginia Tech and we played at Georgia State.
Right.
And I loved it. Like, I want to play the best of the best and compete against everybody, and it's a good thing for Furman. But I also need to be mindful of our coaches in terms of things that are most important to them. To listen to Clay talk about the impact of that on the team physically, the bigger picture on the team, all those different things. He obviously wants to play one FBS opponent every year. and then get creative with that second opportunity in a 12-game season. If that's App State, if that's Georgia Southern, those old rivalries, we'll do that. If that's playing Georgia State again, that's something we'll be up for doing. So on my standpoint, it's never an issue for us. On Clay's standpoint, one of the things that he's really emphasized is he wants to have a balanced schedule when it comes to home and away games. It's really been important to him. And he's noted that we've spent a lot of the time, at least since he's been head coach, playing about 5 home games a year and playing a majority of the games on the road. And that's a challenge for him. He wants to have the environment for his team, for our fans, to offer as many home games as he possibly can and to be as competitive as possible. So in those years coming up, I'm going to support Clay in his vision for what he wants to get accomplished, for how he wants to do it. Guys, I'm always about playing bigger games, better opponents. We'll find creative things we can do in travel. But some of the calls that I've been a part of and we've made to some competitive opponents, sometimes there's logistical issues about what they don't want to play Furman. Furman's name is a really strong name that's out there, and there's some people that just say, you know what, Furman's been a giant beater for a long time, and Furman's had success in different areas, or Furman's at a distance, and they don't want to play here in Paladin Stadium. So there are challenges behind the scenes with scheduling that take place, and most of them are great respect to Clay and the program. One really cool thing, when I was walking in, we got an email from Jeff Cade with the Southern Conference. Mm-hmm. Right now, the Southern Conference and the ASUN with 6 members, which is less than us that we have, are the 2 top-ranked conferences in the FCS nationally based on competitiveness of their entire field of football teams. We've got great football in our own conference. And Bob Ritchie talks about this a lot with basketball. When you play a very competitive conference schedule, you've got to make sure your non-conference schedule allows you opportunities to play up and also opportunities to play down so that you can have a balanced schedule as you go through the year. The goal for our coaches is ultimately to win their conference. And if the Southern Conference is really strong in football as it is, it means we have a commitment in our non-conference to raise the bar so that we are getting the best possible attention for our conference, which is what we're doing right now. Feel a really strong stance from our commissioner, from our league, from our ADs, and from our football coaches to prioritize football in this league. But then the teams themselves got to do what's best for them to get through this process. Like I'll give Clay credit. This past Saturday originally was a bye. He had a choice to play this past Saturday. ETSU was back in the schedule. ETSU and Furman had the same bye. And Clay, and at the time ETSU with the athletic directors, gave the choice to Clay. Do you want to move this game up or do you want to play it back in the schedule? He took the more aggressive stance. I'm going to play 3 on the road in a row. I'm going to play Clemson at ETSU, really tough conference game, at Charleston Southern, and he's going to open up a bye later in the season because his thought process is he'd rather save the bye for later in the season to mitigate injuries, to give the team a week off, to try to push ready for the FCS playoffs later in the year. It was important to him because he felt like the bye was too early. We didn't need that bye. And those might be the things that to the casual fan you might not see it, but that ownership of the decision by the coach is really important to me because ultimately it's his season to play out. Mm-hmm. And I'll be honest, this was a stretch I was most worried about is how are we going to handle early game on a Thursday at Clemson, at ETSU, and now we're going on the road one more time. It's a wear when you keep getting and you're doing it. Like the more you get your team on a bus and the more you get traveled as coaches and ADs, that's what you worry about. But to talk to Clay this morning and to hear his energy and his excitement and his enthusiasm, the fact that they're practicing now on Sundays to give them a better off day on Monday to balance the workload they have academically, just phenomenal. I'm just really happy with where he is, with everything he's doing. And I love the creativity of all of our coaches. Our coaches get stronger by each other, by spending time, by talking about these things. And, again, our scheduling philosophy is going to be what can we do to support our coaches and everything that they do. And we'll get to 26. We're in 22 right now, and our intentions, our energy is focused on this year. Like I know as a fan, you might want to be thinking, hey, where are we going to be down the road? We are laser focused on this season, this year, these opportunities. We got another couple years that are scheduled out, but sometimes you want to wait a little bit on scheduling because you want to have opportunities that fit your program for where you're going and when those opportunities come up. And things could change. Our league could change. FCS could change. It's already changing with a number of different opponents. There was opponents we were talking to playing and scheduling that are no longer in FCS that we had significant conversations with in our region that are now not even in FCS anymore, and it would have been a bad game for us. It would not have been what we wanted to get out of that. But we'll continue to be aggressive and continue to be forward-thinking in our planning.
Next question is one on Furman gear.
Yeah.
And this is something.
This is a great question.
This is something that I experienced when I first came on board here 12 years ago.
Yeah.
I couldn't find any Furman gear anywhere because I wanted, hey, I'm not at Clemson anymore. I'm now the voice of the Paladins. I want some Furman gear. I think it's gotten a little better in 12 years. But the question is there a reason why Furman doesn't license more sports paraphernalia such as football and basketball jerseys? Love to see more of those around town, especially amongst a bunch of Clemson and Carolina people.
Yeah, so this is a great question. So this is when I talk about sharing information with us that makes us think and go through this process. This was a question that Dan sent me the list of questions this morning. I said to our staff, where are we at with this? Where are we at with jerseys for both football and basketball and the growth of this? I'll couch this by saying that metrics matter when you're in an athletic department, and all of our metrics are up. If you look at engagement, if you look at attendance, if you look at fundraising, if you look at revenue, if you look at licensing, all the different pieces that we have, and licensing is dictated by all the different things you see in the community that represent Furman. Some of those products are the products that you want. Some of those products might not be the product you want. It just depends on your price point and what you're looking to get done. And we're very fortunate to have great opportunities with Nike and great opportunities with our ability to license our product. These jerseys is a great thing. I would love to see more Furman Paladin jerseys out in the community. It's something that our staff discussed. They've been working on behind the scenes, and it's something we got to accelerate to push this further. This may be something that's got to come from inside our department as opposed to outside first, but we're going to have to figure it out. But we would love to see more jerseys and more intentionality out there in the community. I know for a fact that for me as a family, my kids would love to buy football jerseys, and my kids would love to have basketball jerseys, and it's a really exciting time in Furman Athletics. We are very thankful. We had a donor that donated those black jerseys that the first game we had in the helmets. The fact that someone said, you know what, I'm going to prioritize this for the team. That was really how that look came about. It was something that the team wanted to do. It was something that a donor wanted to do, and the donor wants no credit. They want to be anonymous, and they just want to help the team with the things that are important to them. But we would love to get more merchandise out there, and we are going to prioritize looking at jerseys on both the football and basketball side to see how we get there and what we do. But that was a conversation from you, the fans, that came to us that allows me to ask the questions of our staff, like, where are we at with this? And I think this would certainly drive our numbers up with more product and more inventory and more opportunities.
And the ability to get it in more places.
Yeah, I
think that's the biggest issue. That again, this is a decade ago that I ran across, just not being able to find it anywhere other than at that time on campus.
And I'll give you my take. I get here, this is August of 19, and I really look at downtown Greenville as a barometer of our success as an athletic department and as an institution. I'm a big believer that we need to the best of our ability, own the space in Greenville to what we are. And the biggest challenge we have with that is Clemson football, which is not an animal that we need to take on. That's not our competitor. My experience in Philadelphia was you didn't mess with the Philadelphia Eagles. You didn't mess with NFL pro teams in the North. But in the South, there's going to be FCS model football programs that are going to really dominate the fan share in terms of what those things. You just got to be realistic about what it is and be honest about what it is. But then you've got to figure out your niche for what you want to try to accomplish as an athletic department and as our products. So if you're looking at downtown Greenville as an example, the growth of merchandise that's been available and the growth of opportunities and the growth of Furman branding is a part of that. We've got to be more mainstream in those areas, and we got to represent a certain product in terms of what that is. I hear the feedback that the only place we can get the really good Furman gear is at the bookstore. We need to go beyond that. This is part of the work that we're doing here in the football stadium, the work that we're doing in Timmins, is to get to the point that there is a pro shop when you come on our campus and you just walk right in the door and you can get all your athletic items in one space. That should be taking place as a part of Paladin Stadium. That should be taking place in the basketball arena and the soccer complex. And then from there, you should be able to order the product and do it directly. So that's just growth of brand and recognition. Winning matters. The more your team wins and the more exposure that you have, like I can guarantee if we would have beat Clemson, the orders of merchandising would have gone through the roof. Those are the opportunities that you have when you have those signature wins. I can guarantee if we win that tournament in November in Charleston, you're going to see a great rush in terms of more inventory. I can guarantee you get to the NCAA tournament and everyone wants to wear their Furman Paladin gear. It's a big deal. So this investment's important and this intentionality in terms of the type of product. But Dan, you hit the nail on the head. It's really good product and more accessibility, being more available and having that be a part of what it is. I've had a vision here. Like I compliment our partners at the Greenville Drive. Like every time I drop my kids off at school in the morning, they've got kids out front. They've got safety vest on that say Greenville Drive. Like, what a great marketing piece for them. Like, Jeff and Craig Brown have figured this out in Greenville, and you're a part of that as well. They figured out that marketability starts with children, and how do you get into the community? How do you give them the opportunities? We would love to get to the point, we're working on this, that Greenville County school systems consider themselves partners with Furman, and how do we help in that effort from a grassroots standpoint to inspire people to want to be a part of Furman Athletics relative to who we are and what we do. So those are things that we're working on, and honestly, that's part of why we hired Drew, is that there's a lot of ideas, there's a lot of energy, and it's how do you operationalize those ideas and how do you execute them. And you've been a part of that. The vision is big. You need big people to get that work done.
He leaves the room. We just keep dumping stuff on him, right? just keep dropping it on him.
Poor Drew. I mean, Drew handled some really challenging stuff this summer. We had 2 of our senior staff members out on maternity leave, and wonderful opportunity to their families and encouraging them to be out and take that time. But at one point, we had 3 of our senior staff members out, and Drew handling the lion's share of a lot of that work. But it's also opportunities and growth. That's how you learn. That's how you grow. That's where your opportunities to step up. We were talking about you the other day, Dan. Like, your work, you're everywhere. Like, and we appreciate everything you're doing, and it's really pushing our brand forward. So these type of opportunities really matter. But there's another level of ticketing. There's another level of equipment. There's another level of marketing. There's another level of engagement. There's another level of fundraising. Our job is to keep pushing that forward while making sure we keep our values most important, which is the student-athlete experience, the health and wellness, the academic experience for our students. Staying true to our internal values is so important while we begin to build our external brand. But winning matters, Dan. Winning matters, and really good product matters too when you have those opportunities.
Continuing with our Ask the AD portion of the program, and we're kind of getting toward that hour point, so we'll try to hit the highlights of some of the remaining questions. And I think this next one is a good one. It's always a good thing at our level when other schools, bigger schools, are coming after your coaches, because that means you're having success. And of course, George Quarles leaves here to go become the ETSU head coach, and we've had other coaches leave to go do different things. And the question is, what are we doing to try to lock in our assistants long term?
Yeah.
Or as long term as you can, anyway.
Yeah. So this is an interesting thing that came up early on when I got here, one of our department meetings, and we're going through things with our leadership, and they're talking about future of our staff. And I was really clear with them, guys. We are here to develop talent. Our job here at Furman Athletics, you're going to have different people in different places in terms of where they're going to have some folks that are here that are determined to be at Furman and they want to retire here. And if you think about some of our long-tenured coaches, they have determined that Furman Athletics is their destination job, where they want to be, where they want to coach. They've figured out the quality of life for them here at Furman is awesome. And that's a really good thing for some of them. Others of them are really motivated, and they want to make an impact at Furman. They want to get some great things done at Furman, and ultimately we want to help support them in their vision of moving on. It's the same thing with assistant coaches. Our job is to develop talent and get them into opportunities for them to have the best possible careers and opportunities. Like when George Quarles leaves for ETSU, we are so excited for him and his family for that opportunity to go from coordinator to head coach. When Brian Bratton leaves and goes to the NFL, these guys don't want to leave. They're leaving in tears, but they're leaving for an opportunity that is better for them and their family. Jimmy Williams just leaving us to go to Anderson to be the head coach there on our men's basketball stuff. That says everything in terms of what we're trying to do. So our effort here with our staff is, I tell everyone, when I hire, I tell everyone I need you for 3 to 5 years, but you're going to move. Like if you get 3 years with us and you have success, you're going to have other experiences, and we want that for you. So retention is very important. And when we look at our current football staff, we've got an excellent football staff. But I also know that we have an excellent situation here at Furman based on our institutional support and also based on our private funding support from the outside. So when early on working with Clay, what's most important to you? For him, it's his staff. For him, it was people. So when you're looking around, you're going to see a lot of changes in the football stadium. You're going to see a lot of changes in the game day experience. What you might not see is all the different things we've done behind the scenes to make retention a priority for the football staff, both from institutional support and from private funding. That really makes this a great situation. This is a place to be, being a part of Furman Athletics. What's really cool, we had a SoCon AD's football media day thing, and it was in August, and we all got together. And when you trace the lineage of so many of these coaches, at some point, they had to stop at Furman. All these great coaches, a lot of our coaches in our league right now have had time that they've spent here as a part of Furman football. That matters. There's a legacy. There's a tradition. There's an opportunity here for them to grow their career. So this is a destination for a lot of these coaches. The coaches we have right here, Dwayne Vaughn's an example. He's had head coaching opportunities to date. For him, it's about being selective. It's about choosing the right head coaching opportunity. It's about going to a place when you're ready to go. And we know that. So while you're here, we're going to take great care of you. We're going to work to retain you. But we're also aware that at some point you might need to move on, and that might be a part of your journey.
Let's do a couple of what I found to be very interesting questions for you personally as we get into wrap-up mode here. Who were you surprised to get a text message from after the Clemson game?
It was great response. And I wouldn't say it was overwhelming, and I don't mean this in a negative way. I think probably more people watching the game when the game was taking place, but not as much afterwards. Guys, I love our football program. I was so proud of them. The texts come when you beat them. Mm-hmm. So I don't mean it in any negative way at all, because I was so proud of the team, that everything they did. But I can guarantee the same for me, the coaches, for the student athletes that are on the field, their families. Their phones blow up when you get the win. So having been around winning and all those different things, I got more texts from people that nationally want to support us at Furman, probably more from friends that are non-Furman people. Hey, good luck at Clemson. It's the same way it is when we play a high major in basketball. When those opportunities on a national stage take place is when the majority of that non-Furman communication comes through to me. That's the way it was for the championship game. When we played it for basketball against Chattanooga, that so many people had a chance on national TV to see that game. And that really is the key. It's the national TV and the exposure for Furman is what we're working towards and what we want to have. You want to have the opportunity to play the best teams at the best time and have the opportunity to beat them when those opportunities prepare themselves. But I got a really good amount of support around that game. It was great. But I would tell you that beating them would have taken it to the next level, and being realistic about that also. Our goal was to be there to compete, control the controllables, perform on the field. We showed no fear. We never backed down. We got better as a program. We stayed healthy. As you go through that process, that was more important to me than getting that win in that particular situation. But I would have taken a win. It would have been awesome.
Yeah, the winning the games, you're right. I can't remember if I shared this with you or not. I think I did when Bob was in here at one point last year, but I've never seen this before in 30-some years of doing this in one form or another. We beat Louisville up there last year. Bob is doing his post-game radio show with us, and the arena is just about empty. And there are two Louisville fans who are kind of hanging around in the background when he gets done, a husband and wife, who just wanted to have their picture taken with Bob Ritchie after that game.
Yeah, it's respect. And that's what this whole thing is about, is that people respect.
Wearing their Louisville gear, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they respect when you are the smaller team and you come into their arena and you get it done the way you do. And that's the greatest thing. The best thing about the Clemson game for me was the feeling of respect that people had for Furman football during and after the game. They're like, these guys can play. These guys are for real. They're not backing down one iota. And that was felt on both sides of the sidelines. Some people ask me, so why didn't Clay go for it at the end? It's respect. He has respect for Clemson just the same as Clemson has respect for Furman. That's coaches and coaches and athletes going through that process in terms of where the things are. And you can't underestimate how important respect is in this process. Mm-hmm. And that's the beauty of sports, is when you put it all out in the field and enjoy it, it makes it really special.
I'll make this the last one, and it gives us a little bit of insight into Jason Donnelly. But the question was, who is a personal mentor you have that you call on from time to time?
That's so funny. That was the one question on here. It's like, we'll get through all these and we'll figure out what we want to do.
That's the one. Dan will never ask that question, right?
No. In my mind, I was like, there's so many people that I speak to, coaches and athletic directors and business associates and alumni and donors here at Furman and leaders. But my college basketball coach that recruited me is such a great impact on me when it comes to leadership and when it comes to friendship, when it comes to understanding things and just getting it. So as a personal mentor, Scott McClary, who coached me, recruited me, has been a lifelong friend, has just been an incredible mentor to me. He's someone I'd be very happy to be a part of this Furman family community just in terms of what he does, but just someone I really rely on. It's funny when you think about all these luminaries and people that you might have, and in your career in terms of what it is as ADs and as coaches. Like, we're very fortunate that we get access to so many great leaders and people that you rely on from time to time and that you talk to. But at the end of the day, sometimes it goes back to someone that recruited you as a 16-year-old and watched you grow into a man and helped you as a part of that process and helped you in your coaching career and helped you in your administrative career and just knows you inside and out and has great insight in all those different things. So I've been very blessed to have Scott in my life.
But isn't that, in essence, what college athletics is supposed to be, or athletics at any level, coaches impacting lives beyond just wins and losses and preparing students, student athletes, players, men, women, whatever, whoever, for life after the sport?
That's why we do it. You know, at the end of the day, I mean, the things I enjoy the most is the time that I get individual with our student athletes and helping them, and it's why you do it. You see the mission. You know, it's the platform. It's your faith. It's your belief in higher education. It's your belief in being a part of something bigger than yourself. And I really feel special to be at a place like Furman that, to me, espouses all those values. That's what Furman's all about. You know, it's winning, but it's not winning at all costs. Like, we're not selling our soul to be champions, but we're going to do everything we can to win and win with integrity. But no, that's what I love it. And that's really, if you look at the essence of why our coaches coach, I mean, the people that we have here at Furman, the administrators that are here, the staff, they're doing it because they love the student athletes. They're doing it because at some point or another, a coach for them helped inspire them, and they want to give it back. And I think that's really what makes this whole thing beautiful. But that was the person I thought of when I saw that question, is just a mentor that's been in my life since the time he recruited me to play college basketball. I mean, that means a lot. Hey, Dan, as we look ahead, guys, we need your help. Last plug would be, we got 3 huge home football games coming up in October. We need as many of the Furman faithful here. We got 3 great weekends that are stored up. We still got Wofford on the back end and Senior Day in November. Basketball season is starting soon. We'll probably have, I guess we'll have one more of these before then, but November.
Well, practice starts, we're recording this on Tuesday. Practice starts Monday.
Oh, yeah.
This coming Monday.
Yeah, we're on. I mean, practice is starting, but the season starts
Yeah.
November 7th, November 8th for both the men and the women. The Charleston tournament's coming up. You got to start planning for that now. That'll happen before Thanksgiving, and it's going to be a big part of what we do. The game on December 17th, we're going to need everyone's support there as we get into the basketball season. And football season hopefully will still be going on at the same time. We're going to try to keep you really busy. And then if you can, continue to come out and support. We got a lot of things taking place, both our men's soccer program, women's soccer program, volleyball programs are in full stride, cross-country program is in full stride. I think in addition to women's golf this weekend, we got a men's golf tournament coming up. So just a lot of great things taking place in Furman Athletics. We greatly appreciate everyone's time and support and energy, but let's keep this going.
Might as well.
Let's do it.
That's what we get paid for, right?
Exactly.
Let's roll.
Let's have fun.
Good stuff. Jason, thank you.
Thank you,
and
Dan.
our thanks to Drew Ingraham for coming and spending some time with us as well. This has been a bonus edition this week of Inside Furman Athletics. Hope you enjoyed it. We will do another Ask the AD sometime in the month of October. And for Jason Donnelly and Drew Ingraham and all of us here at Furman, as always, I'm Dan Scott saying God bless you and so long, everybody.